Hello everyone and welcome to Saturday in the studio. So today we're going to take a little step back. We're not going to be focused too much on being perfect. We're actually going to be on the opposite end of that. We're going to be working on being messy. Being as messy as possible. So you're going to be grabbing your messiest supplies and I want you to be painting like you painted when you were little. And that means even my 5-year-olds, I want you to paint like you're a 3-year-old. Or if you're 30, I want you to paint like you're a 3-year-old. So I want us to be messy. Messy is good today. And then we're gonna work in what do you wanna do after it's done? When it's done, are you gonna journal on top of it? Or are you going to do another painting on top? Are you gonna do a line drawing on top? It's gonna be our base for whatever you wanna do in the studio today. So when we're thinking about making a messy painting, I don't want you to actually have too many thoughts at all. Now remember, you do have alternatives if you don't have paint at home, if you have coffee, if you have tea, even honestly like dirt from a plant, or I've said, fruits, like a strawberry, if you mash it up is the red. We want to do messy art today. I don't want you to give it much thought because this is going to be our background. So you can choose while you're making this, what do you want to put on top? Do you want to journal on top? Do you want to write a letter to somebody? It's basically like you're making a stationery today. I want us to relax together. Pretend you're a child and you're just creating. I'm going to use a lot of water on this one. I'm not gonna worry too much. Actually, I'm trying not to worry at all. That's what I've been saying. We don't want to worry. Maybe you can play with blending and you see how these colors go together so nicely. I'm thinking about colors that relate to each other, colors that when they blend together make another color. Make sure if you put colors that are opposite from each other on the color wheel, on top of each other, you're just gonna get like a brown or a grayish color. It's not gonna be very pretty. So what I mean by that is like a red on top of a green is gonna create like some darkness, which if that's what you want to create, it's totally fine. Remember, you don't wanna think too much, but you do wanna keep it like if you're making this a letter to somebody, even if you're only sharing it on social media, you might not want it to just be all browns and grays. Unless you're thinking about a storm cloud. There's always an unless with me, because I never want to tell you that it's right or wrong. So I'm probably being a little too controlled right now. Probably thinking just a little too much. Remember, I want you to play like a kid, Are you jabbing at your paper? Are you rotating it around? If you have to be careful all week long and this is your first opportunity and I'm telling you, don't be careful, embrace that. I know a lot of us with our jobs have to, watch all the details. We're so overwhelmed and worried all week. Well, right now, relax. Take this time to breathe and to make and not worry. And there's my not worrying artwork. Now I could go back on top when it dries and write a letter to somebody, or I could just put one word, maybe the word that's on your mind right now, put it on the fridge, put it above your bed. Now I want to show you if you only have markers. Okay, so if you only have water, and you don't even need a brush, you could put this on there with your hand. You could dip your paper before you get started into some water in the sink. And now take your marker to it. It's gonna allow that marker to flow a little bit more than you normally would. And you can even go add some more water. Because if you're using washable markers, it's gonna be able to loosen up a little bit. Now it's not gonna loosen up a ton, but enough. Be careful, it can get a hole in the paper if you put too much water. But this is just one way that you can, you can paint without having paint. So you see how that's moving around a little bit more than it maybe normally would. Remember, I want you to play like you were a child. And I literally have the water sitting right there on top of the page. It's so incredibly wet, and you might want to put a placemat down if you have one, or be working on a table that can get a little bit wet. But you want to make these markers bleed. Now remember, whatever you create, there's no right and wrong. You're doing this to relax, you're doing this to unwind. You had a stressful week or whatever the case may be. Just play and have fun and pretend you're a child. So here we go, we have our finish. We can also take a look to see, I kind of enjoy how the back looks, almost more than the front. And you can see we bled through the table, so you know, make sure you cover your table, but not bad. Now remember, even if you don't have markers or paint at home, even if you just had colored pencils, you could do the same technique of, you know, drawing like a child. It just won't get as loose because you can't really loosen that up unless you have oil pastels, in which you can use baby oil, which I don't have any in the house. So now you could go back on top once it's dry, and you could decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to write a letter? Do you want to write out a word? Do you want to make an art journal now where you staple all these together? That's up to you. The options are endless when it comes to what you want to do on top. So I hope you had a great time today making messy art. Maybe even got some on your dog or your cat because you just went for it, and that's wonderful. I hope you took a little bit of time to relax with me today, to create something beautiful, and now you can take that time to write on top of it, or to doodle on top, or maybe it just gets put on the fridge because you love it the way it is. So anyways, I hope you had a wonderful time with me in the studio on this beautiful Saturday, and join me tomorrow. And because I'm thinking, you know what, I'm gonna do videos on the weekend. I think we need this time to do art, so weekend studio time. All right, have a great day.